me perspectives. I don't mean philosophy. I mean the way I see myself, the way I see my life, my career, the world around me. In my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, and as I knock the fifth decade of my life. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Meghna Gupta. I'm an aesthetic dermatologist and a lifestyle wellness mentor. As I look back, when I was 60, I just can't recognize that girl. I barely recognize her. Not that she was wrong, but she was beginning. So how we see ourselves or how we see others or things around us keeps changing. That's perspective. It changes whether we like it or not. When I was barely 16 or 17, all I wanted was to be a doctor. My perspective was very clear. I wanted DR in front of my name on the nameplate, whether I do an MBBS or MD and acquire it, or I do BSc, MSc, and PhD and become a director. It was a contribution towards the society which I wanted. I didn't care about return on investments, as you talk about today. I didn't know fame. I didn't know money. I just had one goal, academic goal, that I have to be a doctor. Before I take this story further, I would like to share a story basically, which is very close to my heart. It's a real one, and the one that changed my entire perspective of my life. Imagine a family of four in late 1980s and early 1990s, established businessman father, a very renowned gynecologist father, two girls, beautiful girls, doing well in their studies, sports, music, all extra content. Of course, that couple had, that pressure of having a son, an heir to the throne, but they never bucking down. The family was living beautifully without fears. Suddenly, my mother passed away. I was barely 13, and my sister, 5 years younger, just 8. Our world came down, totally collapsed. After a few months, my father had Guillain-Barré syndrome. As a medical doctor, I would like to explain it's an autoimmune disorder which affects every organ of the body. My father was in ventilator on ICU. You can imagine what must have gone through both of us. What I was only questioning God. All the time, there were unanswered questions. I was angry with him. I used to have conversations. Why us? Why me? People around me, the relatives, friends, what they would say. It's some past life, mistakes that you've done and you're getting this punishment, or some sins that you've done in your life. Imagine a 13-year-old. What would she understand? What are past life sins? Or just in 13 years of life, I've gone through something which I'm being punished for. I cannot tell you what that feeling was. When I got those explanations, I would have more questions, unanswered totally. One day, I suddenly had a vision, but not a dream. Vision where my mother is standing with her outstretched hands, my father is standing next to her, and we two girls right behind them. And there's a huge thunderstorm coming. My mother collapsed. My father had severe injuries. Both of us, both the beautiful girls, but not a single scratch. My perspectives changed completely. I got my answers. Something which was perceived as a punishment was an act of God was saving us. It was protection. That is where all my perspectives towards sufferings, towards life, towards God changed completely. I'm not here to share this story to gain empathy or sympathy from anyone. What I would like to say that how the whole negative version of my life changed towards positivity is what I'm going to share, not to shed a tear. If my words can make a difference in anyone's life, even one person's life, I can that be good. My father was saved. He's still sitting here. He walks with a stick. He has residual paralysis. But he getting a new life gave me new awakenings. I understood life is precious. It's beautiful. Live it to the fullest. Any moment, anything can happen. You may be thinking you're cocoon and you're taking care of, everything is very well, but anything can happen. That's where I took my studies very seriously. So in my 20s, I was only studying. I was like a sponge, just absorbing science, knowledge, skills. I wanted to be a successful doctor. In my 30s, I became a mother myself of two beautiful children. My perspective changed completely. Something which I used to, in my 20s, think of only learning. It moves towards earning because I had responsibility of two children. I had to bring food on the table. So something like money, of course, ethically, the need grew. I had read somewhere that money is not everything. It is something, but not everything. It used to resonate with me very well. But as the responsibility increased from pediatric visits to diapers to tuition fees, I realized money is everything and say that once you earn it. As I progressed, my perspectives being an aesthetic dermatologist, you know how women are put in that brackets of beauty. You have to look the best. You become out. All that went into weight. All I could think was, taking care of my children, unfulfilling sleepless nights, having nan with them. You all know what is nan. Playing in the middle of the night with my children. My perspectives were towards motherhood completely. A girl at the age of 13 who lost her mother must be in so much grief and loneliness because nobody gives you that instruction manual that how to come up with that void, how to live that void which was created. But my children gave me that perspective. I understood motherhood is so beautifully. I ensured that I give them the best that I could. So my perspectives of an aesthetic dermatologist, I had no me time. I was only engrossed in taking care of my children. Now, when I'm in my late 40s, my perspectives have changed again. It's about longevity. I've started taking out for myself. I go to the gym, I work out, I eat right. And I would like to compare myself or any woman at this age to a tree. When you're young, in your teens or in your early 20s, you're a sapling. As you grow in your 30s, I was like a plant, a tree, which was still branching out. But in my late 40s, I am actually a fruit-laden tree, ready to give it back to society, my fruit, my shelter, and my shade. Another perspective which changed, I'm a doctor. My financial acumen was very poor. But this modern hybrid, a bizarre hybrid of entrepreneurship with medicine, again changed my perspective. My patients became clients. Imagine how the perspectives change from profession to career to different walks of life that we go. I would like to say in my 40s, I realized that now I've arrived. Whatever was missing, I wasn't so wise before. I was more judgmental, others are less judgmental, and I've arrived. So I would like to say that it seems like a straight road when you're young. You achieve your goals, done, dusted. But my friend, it's not a straight road. That road bends too. When I look back at my different decades of life, I would say, as a young girl who lost her mother, who knew nothing what to do, in her 20s, who wanted to study medicine, in her 30s, who wanted to be a good mother and give everything up for her children, in 40s, when I'm ready to be back to society and live for myself. So my only purpose, I would say, is perspectives. They grow with you, they heal you, they bloom with you, they change. Only thing you need to have is constant glasses and the lens we keep changing. Thank you so much for patient hearing. In the end, I would like to say that a girl at age of 13, when I was young, I never knew I'm going to be standing at this platform, TEDx, sharing my sob story, which I don't call it sob. It's my achievement. It's my fears, which I can overcome. And I achieved something all by myself. So if I'm able to make a difference, I'll be more than happy. Thank you for patience.